everyone, it's me, Miss Kate.
And Miss Hazel here.
And Miss Hazel's here. Today we're going to introduce you to a new artist. I just learned, she's not really a new artist, but she's new to us. Her name is Mati Rose McDonough. I like her name, Mati.
Yeah, that's good.
Kind of like, a pirate sort of thing. Yes. So this is not her work, this is my work. But she draws these fun, cute little animals with word bubbles. So I looked at one of her pieces. It was of an elephant, and it looked like the elephant was speaking in colors. And then I was thinking about this squirrel that has been eating our the wires from the lights in our backyard on our fence. And I was thinking, what does he think about when he runs along our fence and does stuff? And I decided that he was going to do like lots of colors and maybe some stars. He was thinking about that. I don't really know. So this is the kind of thing. Anyway, so I'm going to show you how I did this. So I took a canvas, and I switched to a different bird now, but to a different animal. I drew with a Sharpie, a permanent marker. I drew on this bird, and this time I think about what a bird might think about, and I drew this piece right here. Then this is where it gets fun. I gotta find it. I took a piece of regular copy paper, which I don't have here. I put it over the top and I traced this thought bubble so that I could it would be easier for me to figure out what shapes of paper I want. And I took some paper that we had.
So that's your pattern, Miss.
It's my pattern. Pattern, that was a good word. Pattern.
Like
I took my pattern.
Yeah.
Yes. And I started to cut out lots of different shapes so that when I put them, I measured to make sure that they could fit into this, which eventually would go onto this. And I'm going to use some Modge Podge later. But I started by painting. So I'll just do a quick little paint here. I mix some, I'm using tempera on this one, not acrylic, just in case you're wondering. But acrylic works beautifully also. So it depends on what you have. I'm just using tempera because that's what our friends who are getting their boxes have already. They have a lot of tempera. I don't know how much acrylic they still have at their homes. But I know they just got new tempera. So that's what they're going to use. So got the smallest brush ever. I'm going to paint this. I'm going to paint it all the way around. Try and do it quickly. If you have a chance and you want to go look at some of Mati Rose McDonough's work, look at her up online because I really like her work. It's very fun. It's colorful.
Whimsical?
Whimsical. Another good vocabulary word.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to use this bigger brush that I brought for myself that I was not using. So I'm going to paint all the way around. I decided that this bird was going to be a light yellow with an orange beak. And then I'll start, actually I'm going to skip to the next part and not do this whole thing. So you don't have to watch me paint this whole thing. So when I get to, if I pretend like I'm all painted here, I'm going to take my pieces that I cut out and I'm going to make sure that they fit nicely onto my my thought bubble here.
Ms.
Sure,
Kate,
how I did
could
this.
you make them onto your pattern and then put the whole thing on there? Would that be too thick?
I think it would be a little too much.
Oh.
I don't know for sure. I just think it would be too much. So I would not do that personally. When I'm done, I'm also going to go back over this with the Sharpie to make sure that my black lines stand out because, as you can see, they're not really all that great right now. When I do it, anytime I'm using Modge Podge to decoupage something, I always put it on first, and then I go back over the whole thing. I put the Modge Podge down, put the paper on.
If you didn't have Modge Podge, is there something else you could use, Miss Kate?
Yes, you could. If you didn't have Modge Podge but you had glue, you could mix some glue and water together and it would work just as well. About half and half water, half glue, and that would do it for you. So if you can see this, I'm going over my lines. I'm covering my lines. So I'm going to have to fix that later when I use the Sharpie to make sure. I was imagining that this bird was thinking about plants. So he had and maybe he was thinking about some animal that was coming nearby. He was thinking about all sorts of things.
Miss Kate, would you
Yes.
paint your whole canvas and then do this Mod Podge last?
I would normally do that. Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I did on this one. But for this today, I didn't want you to have to sit by and watch me paint the whole thing. Because that seems really long to me. I also thought you might think about stars. Because who doesn't think about stars? And then I would make sure it was all painted and all covered with Mod Podge. And then I would let it dry.
Oh, that's really fun.
And then I'm going to come back. So now this one I've made already, as you know. So I painted the whole thing. I went back over the black lines. And now that the Mod Podge is dry, I'm going to cover the whole thing with Mod Podge. It'll give it sort of a shiny finish and a complete look. Now, if I put this Mod Podge on while the paint was still wet, it would smear everything.
Painty Modge Podgy mess.
A painty Mod Podgy mess. It's kind of like that book about that boy who was a gluey...
Too much glue.
Yeah, too much glue. That boy, Matty. Oh, Matty. That was his name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like Matey. His work was... his teacher told him that too much glue would never dry, and he was a gluey something stuck mess at one point. So now I'm going to let this dry, and just so you know, even if you can see the white lines, this Mod Podge is going to dry clear. Or if you use gluey water, it will dry clear, so that it doesn't really matter what it looks like. I'm going to do the sides too, because I do like sides being painted on my canvases. But that's up to you. That's whatever your taste is on this, that's just what I like to do. What about you, Miss Hazel? Do you like to paint the edges?
I like the edges painted. It just feels like it completes then if I'm looking at it from the side, it's all kind of the same.
See how that works? You can see it on the side that was painted. So I'm going to let this dry, and then we're going to hang it up somewhere. And maybe next time you come to visit us, you will see this. So don't forget, look up, her name is Mati Rose McDonough, and she has a lot of really cute, fun paintings. So look her up, and then I can't wait to see what you make. If you make something, would you send it? Have your parents send it to Instagram at Alameda Arts Fun. And if you want to check out our YouTube channel, as you are right now, you can subscribe and see all of our other videos, or look at our website at alamedaarts.com. Anything else, Miss Hazel?
I think you covered it all, Miss Kate.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Bye. Friends.